Congratulations, Central State University, class of 2020. You finally made it. All those years of hard work, studying, laboring through dense textbooks, writing countless papers, showing up every day for class. It's finally over. For now, you can rest, kick back, and take some time off to enjoy your successes. You earned it. You deserve it. I appreciate your campus leadership for inviting me to deliver this year's commencement address. I am humbly grateful for the opportunity to share in the distinguished history of this great institution. I am honored to be speaking to you today. I say this as someone whose story started like many of yours may have begun. There are so many reasons why I shouldn't be a doctor today. Growing up in a poor Cleveland neighborhood, attending an economically deprived school, changing careers from auto mechanics to medicine, being older, raising 4 children, or just being an African American male. Not to mention the myriad challenges of attending medical school. Any of these obstacles could have prevented me from obtaining my dream of becoming a physician. But I am here today because of a community of people that walked with me and supported me in my never-ending quest to build a better tomorrow. Before I could build a better tomorrow, I had to have a yesterday. So let me tell you about my yesterday. Growing up, my family didn't have much. We lived in one of the poorest cities of Ohio. We went to schools that were dangerous, and we walked streets littered with drug addicts and dealers and lived daily with the threat of random violence. Traditional college after high school seemed like an unrealistic option. For most where I came from, factory work or the military seemed to be the most viable alternative. My older sister dared to dream of more. I remember vividly when she left for college. She struggled financially trying to pay for tuition, books, room, and board. When she received a school refund check meant to sustain the unexpected costs over the semester, she instead used it to help our parents. Whether it was to replace a badly leaking roof or cover living expenses, she always helped out. That help came at a huge price because eventually she was forced to come home and defer her dream of being the first college graduate in our family. Many years later, she completed her goal, obtaining a doctorate in education, but it wasn't easy. Seeing her struggle in this way made college seem more of a burden rather than a gateway out of poverty. So instead of attending college, I started my business. There's nothing wrong with that. But I did so out of desperation and fear of failure. There were few economic opportunities in my neighborhood. I had to make a way where there was no clear path forward. I would be foolish to say I did this alone. There were many people along my journey who identified my needs, helped me along the way, gave me good advice and support. These people are my family, friends, and professors who have been with me throughout my journey, and their support continues even today. My title or position has never changed the person I am inside. It is true. I used to fix cars for a living. I started a business doing that at the age of 19. It was very successful for 25 years. I was and still am a master technician with the skills to fix almost anything. But around the age of 40, I switched gears, so to speak, downshifted, veered off onto a road less traveled. I put the pedal to the metal and worked my way through medical school to become a physician. It was difficult, especially since I still had my business to run. That required me to spend innumerable hours away from my medical studies, managing employees, taking care of clients, preparing a path forward year after year. But as I reflect on that difficult time, I realize that anything you pursue in life that is worth having takes sacrifice and uncompromising effort. But no matter what position I hold, all of the fame or fortune could not make me a different person than who I have always been, the person my parents and community taught me to be. When I had to give somebody bad news about their car, I spoke to them with the same care and empathy that I now give to a patient who is sick or with a family member about their loved one's health. dignity, and respect. That's what matters most to people. Often, it is not what you say, but how you say it. People will soon forget what you did, but they will always remember how you made them feel. Today, as we face current world events, let's focus on we first. This idea of empathy, putting yourself in someone else's shoes and having the ability to understand and share the feelings of another is important. When you can imagine the pain and hardships faced by others who are less fortunate, class of 2020, you can better deliver on these needs and form a better world for those around you. This is what I mean by we first. I'm reminded of a day a few years ago when I was pursuing my pre-medical education. I would volunteer some nights after work or school in a local emergency department. Late one night, there was a young woman who was being discharged. She was homeless and had 4 children. The social worker was desperately trying to find a shelter that would accept her and her children, as it was close to 11 p.m. and most were closed for the night. As I walked into her room to see what I could do to help, the look of fear and uncertainty in her children was undeniable. I could see the look of despair in their eyes as they faced sleeping another harsh night outside on the cold streets of Cleveland. One of her children was the same age as the 3-year-older I had at the time. This youngest one was curled up in a chair, visibly exhausted, and trying to find a comfortable position to sleep as her big sister tried to help keep her warm. As I went to get them blankets and whatever food I could find, I couldn't help but wonder what kind of life these children were going to have. What kind of chance would they have at receiving a quality education? How would they get by when they have so little? When will they eat again? How would they overcome the memory of being destitute and desperate for so many of the necessities I and others have become accustomed to having? How could I blame these kids for not pulling themselves up from their bootstraps when they don't even have boots? Then I thought of the mother who was endearing, protective of her children, trying to comfort and reassure her children that everything would be okay and the hospital will find somewhere they could stay. What kind of life must she have had that put her in this situation? Where were the family, friends, and neighbors who should have come to her rescue? I often think of this family, and I pray that life has become a little bit easier for them. It is essential that we help those who have less than us. Like those children, many are victims of their own circumstances through no fault of their own. The truth is, poverty is oftentimes generational. It is hard to escape the grips of a poor education, dangerous neighborhoods, and a lack of economic opportunity. A me-first approach would do little to help that struggling family. However, the we-first approach makes sure we help ease the hardships of others, while we are also helped as we work towards our own goals. In some ways, it seems our focus in this country has always been turned to the idea of me first. Sadly, it is a label that has been more inappropriately placed on your generation. I don't believe that. I believe every generation wants to contribute positively in making the world a better, safer place. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, or where you are going in this world. We are all in this together. Every generation, every race, every gender, every nationality, and every religion. We have experienced firsthand the fact that tragedies that affect distant corners of the world can quickly manifest on our doorsteps. The idea that we are immune to the ills of others because they are far away, or because they don't look like us, or because they practice a different religion or come from a different culture is far from the truth. An injustice to one is an injustice to all, once spoken by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. If we see trouble in some other place, whether at our neighbor's house, across town, in a different state or different country, we should respond with care. It is our duty. It is our duty to help, our duty to make a difference. As President Barack Obama once said, we, the people, recognize that we have responsibilities as well as rights, that our destinies are bound together, that a freedom which only asks, what's in it for me, a freedom without a commitment to others, a freedom without love or charity or duty or patriotism is unworthy of our founding ideals and those who died in their defense. You owe something to the world and to the next generation. You owe something to the people who are struggling to make ends meet and who need your guidance. Those who weren't as fortunate to receive the fine quality education you've been given at Central State Class of 2020. You owe it to your future employees who are counting on you to be a steadfast leader in the face of adversity. Mostly, you owe it to yourself to be the kind-hearted, hard-working, forward-thinking person you know you can be. We First starts today, Central State graduates. I've been fortunate to know so many people from the diverse communities of Ohio. Wealthy, poor, old, young, gay, straight, from multiple ethnicities. In some way, everyone seems to remind me of someone I already know. I love the connections I'm able to make with my patients, no matter where they are from. I thoroughly enjoy coming to work to make a difference every day. I have been known as Mr. Fix-It throughout my life, and I enjoy helping others with the difficulties they face, no matter if it's their carburetor or a kidney. My first responsibility is to the people I serve. Long ago, I made a commitment to myself to try to grow in diverse ways of thoughts and actions within many facets of my life. I decided to take chances I may not have before, to look adversity in the eye and overcome insurmountable challenges, and to learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. These are just some of the things that brought many of you here today. To be great, Class of 2020, we must be willing to do more than the usual. We must chart a path forward that is inclusive, just, and equitable, not only for ourselves, but for others who may not have a voice. We must be willing to try things we're not good at and see our mistakes not as failures, but opportunities to grow and learn. I'd like to welcome all of you to this journey that is inclusive of the needs of others. Let's continue to love one another and realize no matter who we are or where we came from, that we are all in this together. Let us realize when we focus on the concept of we first, we not only achieve our goals and desires, we also uplift those who need us the most. We all have the capacity to make a difference. We are not in isolation. None of us become successful on our own. No person builds a legacy without the love, sacrifice, and support of others. Think about the family members, friends, and professors who helped you get to this momentous day. These are the people who have supported you throughout this journey. Some of them have made great sacrifices to get you to this point. Many have had you in their prayers and have called you just to see how you are doing and if there's anything they can do to help. Most of them ask for nothing in return for the unyielding love and support they've bestowed upon you. Your success today is their payment. Together, we celebrate all your accomplishments. Together, we commemorate your hard work and the dedication you have employed to get to this moment. I cannot begin to tell you how proud I am of each and every one of you for the effort you have shown to obtain your degree and the lasting legacy this will have for you and your families. Today, we relish in the glory of your success. Tomorrow, you embark on a new phase of a journey that will build upon your acquired knowledge. By now, you have learned that success does not come easy. Former U.S. Defense Secretary General Colin Powell said it best. A dream does not become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. The commitment one has in achieving his or her dreams has to be unwavering, unyielding, and focused. At this point, I know some of you must be thinking, the hard part is over. I finally made it, and now I could slow down and take it easy. Sure, you can slow down, but the forward momentum must persist. Some of you have fulfilled a family tradition of being college educated and have been guided most of your lives through this process. For others, you may be the first in your family to seek and obtain a higher education. Either way, you've arrived, and I applaud your success. But now, it's time to get out there and make a difference. Believe it or not, you still have so much work to do. We still have so much work to do. We can always accomplish another milestone, always another challenge, always another goal to reach, and another achievement to conquer. This degree is only the start of a new challenge. And you will have many new challenges in your personal and professional lives. With each new challenge comes the opportunity to create a new future for yourselves and others. It all starts today. Our current worldwide pandemic has affirmed that we need each and every one of your brilliant minds in the workforce today. With our advancements in medicine, research, and global health, who could have foreseen or been prepared for a health crisis of this magnitude? This signifies to me we have a long way to go and much more work to do. Class of 2020, we need the best of you now more than ever. Your best ideas, your best collaborations, and the best of your compassion to serve others in whatever capacity you have been prepared to do over these past several years by the dedicated faculty and staff at Central State University. We continue to need advancements in the health and science fields to recognize today's health problems and tomorrow's health threats. We need business people to make sure we are making the products we will need to sustain our economies and our well-being. We need entrepreneurs who have the spirit of ingenuity to service the needs and demands of others. We need politicians who understand the need of working together towards a common goal for the good of all. And we need educators to help us learn from the lessons of our past so that we are better prepared to train the scientists, business people, and public servants of the future. It all starts here. It starts today with you. Congratulations, Central State University, class of 2020. I'm looking forward to hearing of all the great accomplishments your class brings to the world around us. Best of luck to all of you, and thank you for sharing this historic day of your success with me.